Well, here I am at the most unflattering angle possible. I've lost a lot of weight in my face lately. I really went down quite a bit, and I'm pretty excited about the changes. I'm really eager to see what else happens. I've gone down quite a bit in my face. I have not gone down quite a bit in the rest of me. My body is a little thinner. The size 16s are fitting much more comfortably now. The size 20s are ridiculously huge. So that's good. That's very good. I don't have a lot of 18s, and they are large and baggy and falling off and uncomfortable and unpleasantly not pretty on me anymore. And I'm so excited about this because that means that all my efforts are beginning to work in my body. Now, the crazy part is I didn't really feel progress in the workout realm. I didn't feel like I was getting any better at it. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, I felt like I could handle it, like I could tackle it, like I could power through. And that's when the weight, suddenly I looked down and I realized it had started to come off again, even though the scale doesn't show any difference. Isn't that the crazy part? Sometimes at the beginning of your fitness journey, you actually don't lose a pound because you're gaining muscle and losing fat and everything's readjusting, but the scale doesn't show any progress. Well, there's a parallel here because in real life, sometimes you have made so much progress in the spiritual realm. You're reading the Bible, you're praying, and people around you are telling you still have a terrible attitude, that what kind of Christian are you? And you're thinking, wait a minute, I can feel the changes on the inside. I can feel that something is going on. I mean, I know that I've put forth so much effort. So why are people saying this to me? And honestly, sometimes people are just jerks because they can be. Sometimes it's because they expected an instant fix. They expect Jesus to suddenly turn you into a perfect little angel. And for some people, it really does happen that way. I mean, a guy who's a horrible alcoholic who beats his wife suddenly becomes a little lamb and perfectly behaves at home and abroad. And everybody's astounded by the instant change. But in my life, it wasn't like that. In my life, I continued to be quite a jerk and quite an annoying character. And to some people in my life, I still haven't changed enough to suit them. They don't see any fruit. Now, this is not something I'm saying because I'm saying it. This is something that I've been told to my face. So, being a Christian for over 20 years, studying the Bible back, forth, and up and down, getting involved in children's ministry, I think it's been a full 20 years that I was fully involved in children's ministry. Nobody would show up and I would be there. And because they didn't like something that they saw in my life, suddenly I don't bear fruit. Okay, that is up to somebody else to figure out what's going on in their own brain. And it is not for me to decide. It threw me for a loop for a bit. I mean, I was very hurt. But no, nobody else has the right to tell me whether or not I bear fruit. Nobody has the right to tell me that they don't see it, because they don't have to see it. God has to see it, and I need to keep working for it. And I don't need to let anything sidetrack me. So the moral of the story for you today is, if you've ever been ministered by anything I've said, then you are my fruit. And maybe they don't see it because most of my ministry these days is online and through the written word and in directions that don't shine so much from a church pulpit or from a children's church classroom, because I've stayed away from all that. I feel like I'm in a new season and I've got to do something else. But I know, and you know, and I'd like you to think, if I've ministered to you and somebody can misunderstand me so completely and assume that because they don't see the fruit on the surface, it's not there, then I'd like you to take a look at yourself. And I'd like you to take a look at those who are judging you. And I'd like you to tell yourself, I also am being misjudged. As long as you keep trying, as long as you don't give up, as long as you keep seeking God, as long as you keep reading that word and praying, and if you haven't been doing that, start, because that's where the fruit is tilled, the ground is tilled, the seeds are planted, the fruit is watered. That's where it all takes place. Read that Bible. You can go to BibleGateway.com and look up the New King James, the New American Standard Bible, the New Living Translation. Those are pretty decent translations, to start studying with. Reina Valera 1995 if you're reading in Spanish, RVR. Just don't let anything stop you. You are here for a purpose. God has selected you for a purpose. He's got something to do in your life that's going to be pretty amazing. And you can't let anybody's opinion stop you. Because generally, people who do that are people who honestly don't see the fruit in their own lives. And they're trying to find somebody to feel superior to. Honestly, if somebody's comparing themselves to you, chances are they feel like nothing. And so you need to stop getting annoyed at that person and feel pity for them. Because if you have to spend your time dissing somebody else, disrespecting, putting down, or insulting someone, there's something fundamentally flawed within you. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Have a great, great, great day. And spend some time in the Word today. I've been reading through the book of Ezekiel for personal reasons. I do not recommend it if you haven't read through the Bible a lot. I recommend you start at Genesis chapter 6 and read through the Old Testament until you get to the really boring books. Once you get to the boring books, I know I am a bad guy for saying this. Skip the boring ones, go on to the good ones. You can have a second pass next time. Skip the creepy parts that confuse the heck out of you and make you wonder about the character of God. That's for later. Once you know His goodness and His graciousness, you will understand His wrath so much better. But I don't recommend delving into the wrath of God right away. That's not necessary. If you want to go into the New Testament, you could go straight through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, Romans. All the way through is pretty much good. When you get to the book of Revelation, you might want to pause for a minute and go, nah, let's get back to Genesis chapter 6, like she said. And you can start at Genesis chapter 1. It's just that 6 is where all the action starts picking up. And sometimes you just need to get into a story before you can, really focus on the rest. If you're story-driven. If you're fact-driven, then you'll probably like some of the parts that I consider boring, and maybe the story parts will feel too rambling for you. If you download the Bible app from Life Church, it reads to you. That's how I've been reading through Ezekiel. Again, please don't jump into Ezekiel until you are ready, because it really explores the wrath of God in a way that's kind of terrifying at the beginning. I was confused and questioned God so much when I started through these prophetic books, because it's tough. But now I understand so much better. As a mother, I understand so much better the love of a father who must discipline. All right, guys. God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye.